What is up, guys and gals and fans of fighting games of all ages? Kyle here. Just wanted to say real quick and give credit to those others we took a little lesson from in the making of this video. I will list his name there. Please go check out any of his work. He's very good at what he does. And I just didn't want to butcher his name, so I'll let you guys figure it out for yourself and spell it out there for you. Now, to the matter at hand. This particular project was all about Swamp Thing, and it was not of my doing, but of my good friend Colton. He is very intelligent, very in-depth, and very fast-witted to learn characters. Mr. Swamp Thing, I had a lot to learn myself, quite frankly, because I have really no idea what to do with him. So I had a lot of fun learning about him along the way. So this video will have to do with his buttons, his frame data, how you can properly punish, and there will be more videos to come with Colton behind the wheel, not me, because quite frankly I'm learning along the way and this is helping me too. I hope it helps you guys too. That is the point behind all these. At the end of the video I will also insert some combos and the description of how to perform said combos. So, like I said, guys, I just wanted to thank you guys for being a part of this project and give credit to any references that we took from. We didn't use everything, but we used the most efficient and the most practical options. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to Console Cadets. Thank you for tuning into this video. Check out anything else you see or like and leave your comments. I'll see you next time.
We have to go to Gorilla City.
Gorillas in the mist.
Gorilla City. It's like gorillas.
Only in a city.
You know, I haven't seen one gorilla here, though.
Yeah,
Grodd. Alright.
Dude, I always fuck up and think... I know that's a snake, but when I first saw this fucking stage, I thought that was the elephant's dick. Like this. You see that right behind him?
Where?
Like that thing right there. Like it's a fucking snake behind him. Going, yeah, but like if you walk up to where Wonder Woman is, like
it looks like it's coming out of the elephant.
Yeah, like I was gonna say restart the stage. Like look at it and walk forward a little bit. It looks like it's dead. It's like nah.
What's up with that fucking curtain where a dick is supposed to be? Anyway. Alright, so let's go over Swamp Thing a little bit.
We're gonna introduce it's your shit, dude. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I don't make videos. From the top, Console Cadets.
No, dude, this isn't Console Cadets. Is just a channel. Who are you?
I'm Coltina. 1991 was my birth year. But that's my PSN.
You'll have a surname like Mark Twain.
No, I just go with Coltina. So anyway, I'm gonna go over Swamp Thing. It's Coltina. Gonna put this video on Console Cadets video channel, YouTube, I don't give a fuck. Alright, so we got pros and cons. I feel he has pretty consistent damage. He has high-low mix-ups. Well, they're relatively slow and unsafe on block most of the time. They are still mix-ups, and you can have your opponent guessing. He can heal himself through Green Thumb, and he has combos into that, so that makes that an even better option if you need it in a quick pinch. He has fairly decent close-up punishment options on certain attacks. He has a cancelable sweep. He has okay long-range attacks. And he has specials that can reposition himself on the screen. Although there are bad things with him as well. He's very meter dependent. He has like a very floaty jump. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that jump. But I don't know how a guy that fucking big and heavy could just float down.
Because grass is much more dense than flesh and bone.
He doesn't look like grass to me.
Like he's paper mache. He's like you lift him up and it's like, oh,
look at that shit. He's just like
he's paper mache.
Anyway,
he's got Dawson jump.
So he's got a very, very high learning curve, and he's not allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes on other characters are okay, you can come back. Mistakes with him, a little bit more devastating.
If you want to make mistakes, go fucking play Superman.
Most of his normals have very, very bad startup. I mean, look at this shit. his standard triangle. 30 frame startup. What the fuck is that?
Damn, I could make a sandwich in that time. I could make 2 sandwiches.
Anyway, he doesn't have very good close-up anti-air options. Now from a distance, he can, he's got an air vine grab, if I can get it. Oh wait, you have your control set a certain way, don't you?
Yeah, I have a default.
I gotta have alternate so I can do this shit. Alright.
Because you play from Australia,
So
where
from
the
here,
toilets swirl backwards.
he has that. He can hit you in the air. His square, or his 1-1 has been proven very effective on far range. But let's just talk about this. His down 2 has a hitbox in front of the fist, but not necessarily above or behind. So cross-up attacks pretty much beat him at this distance. Any move that he has that's a decent anti-air from a distance is too slow to do anything about. His best option is to block, EX dash roll when you're getting close up jumped in. It's just hard to deal with. He's got slow special moves on reaction, something like this attack. What's up?
Make sure to, if your phone rings, like I've gotten a habit. Just like whenever I record, I always get in the habit of putting my phone on vibrate so it doesn't like go off if I'm ever in the middle of something.
Okay.
Just food for thought.
Okay. With his special moves anyway, something like this from full screen. Anytime you have a jump attack, like let's say for example, I do this to Wonder Woman and she jumps. She can dash in the air and she can throw her
Frisbee.
her fucking shield or I don't know if she can dash in the air anymore, but
Shield is trademarked by Captain America.
but she can jump and throw shield on this on reaction.
She throws shield at you.
Like Supergirl can dash and attack in the air, and Superman can jump insta air projectile, and it's just there's a lot of moves that beat stuff like this and like this on startup. You see that any jump in attack is going to beat this, so you need to use his special moves at the right time. As I said, he's very unsafe with all of his attacks. Onto that, full screen zoning characters have a really, really good advantage towards this character. It's hard for him to approach without spending meter, and it's hard for him to deal with pressure without having to spend meter, which is why I meant he's very meter dependent. His combos to do good damage need at least 1 to 2 bars of meter every time. But that's something to consider when you're playing this character. His trait is about as awful as it can get. Now, it can work against certain characters, like physical characters, for example, like another Swamp Thing, where you can use it full screen and just kind of walk backwards. And if they get close, they get close. It's like Bane when they charge you.
He does have a teleport, though, to replace it.
Right,
Is better than Scarecrow's teleport.
but in ranked matches, I figured out you can't really swap your abilities.
Oh, no? Oh, I thought you could use it.
I thought you could too, but I can't seem to manage to work. But we're going off his base move list anyway.
Right.
So if you got a character like Bane who's doing his charge attack, popping this off, for example, and walking back a few feet and then just pressing your trade button, that leaves a small patch to where if he's stuck there, like he hits you, he bounces back in there, he can't jump away. So that's something to consider too. He can't dash, he can't jump away. So if they charge you and they're a pure physical character, there's not much that they can do but wait for the trait to end. And if you got a life lead, that's a good way to run out the clock, especially if they don't want to get hit. His jumping attacks are unbelievably negative on block. If you don't cancel them into anything, it's a bad day. There's uses for them for sure, but I'm going to show this. His jumping square is minus 26. Jumping 2 is minus 22, and jumping 3 is minus 17. That's pretty fucking punishable. So that's something to be aware of with this character. And those are what I think his pros and cons are. But that doesn't mean you can't win with him. So let's go over his special moves. He has Biofissure, where it comes up behind him and can interrupt certain projectiles and certain moves. And characters like Poison Ivy, if used correctly, this will stop her trait dead in its tracks if you get a hit with it. But it can also be bad for you, because any special move that progresses him advancing on the screen, for example, Wonder Woman's her Shield Rush. Blue Beetle's Shield Rush or Batman's Slide. Biofissure is going to lose to this about every time, and if you use it mid-screen, you're going to get punished. Then you have this attack. I'm going to go ahead and set her to crouch so I can better explain. Biofissure can be crouched, so that's something to be aware of as well, but if you meter burn it, it'll actually teleport you to them, and it will help with projectiles in a way, but once again, you have to burn meter, and it can be blocked.
Oh, really? I didn't know it could be blocked.
It can be blocked.
That either...
And that really sucks.
That either needs to be an unblockable move, or that needs to have a hit of armor.
Alright, so...
Get it out.
That's pretty much Biofissure in a nutshell. It's not bad. It stops certain wake-ups if used correctly. It can be ducked. It gets beat by advancing specials. I've had situations where, if done at a certain time, Robin's run across the screen. Actually, I will lose to that. I'm not sure how that works, but I mean, I've had a lot of good luck with this attack, and I've had a lot of bad luck. So it's kind of a 50-50. You need to judge your situation right before you use it. Then you got his Vine Grab. This does a lot of damage. You can choose where you want it to go. Unfortunately, it can be ducked. So if your opponent sniffs this attack, they're gonna duck it.
Or if they don't, unless they know
so
the matchup.
If I do this, and it's active right about there, and she does her Shield Rush, I get beat. It's it only can get you for a split second.
But
So you definitely want to use this in moderation. You don't want to be spamming it. It's very punishable. And the only other thing I can say with this attack is that it is cancelable. And if they're in the air, it will actually grab them as a combo, but it won't do it if they're just neutral standing on the ground. For example,
what the potential it has.
like that should have logically grabbed her if she was standing, but it won't work. You have to be juggling them to make it work.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yo,
Can you train your opponent to stand block if you use log correctly? Can you in fact train your opponent if they are scrub level, sir?
yeah, but we're not going to focus on that. we're mainly going to focus on the tools that he has and that he can work with. Now we got his log kick. It's a low. It stays active for a long time on the screen, so it's kind of a slow projectile, and it can be useful if certain characters don't have good wake-up attacks, but it can be reacted to as well if they do have good wake-up attacks and gone through, and you are stuck until he puts his leg down. So that is a long activation time.
Can it be used for meaty setups?
Not so much. Depends on their wake up. Now, something you should know about this attack is that it has 2 hits for if it being close.
I did not know that, actually. I thought it was 1 hit.
So I think it's a mid-low, I believe. Yes, it's a mid-low. So they can block it standing first and then crouch and block it as well. But knowing that, there is no meter burn version of this attack. So you want to use this in moderation with some of your mix-ups, like then you got your overhead, and that overhead goes into another overhead, or you can make that go into this, or you can make them guess, think you're going into an overhead and cancel, or you can just do this and shenanigans. But then again, all these setups are unsafe, and the worst thing is, this close up is very unsafe. It is very negative on block, and everyone needs to be aware of that. Next attack is this one. This is the coolest yet most worthless attack I think I've seen on a character, and the reason I think that is
But he's Groot.
Because
I am Groot.
it whiffs way too easy mid-screen. It's got to be used while they're being juggled, and it's got to be used in a corner. I'm not saying it doesn't have its uses, but as far as a general string, it's got to be meter burn to even hit them on the ground.
Oh, I see.
So, once again, if you're going to be using this in normal strings, it needs to be in a juggle. For example, that would be a good use for it if you are trying to juggle with it. But normally, like, in a string like this, it ain't gonna hit. Or a string like this, it ain't gonna hit. So this is a corner move or a juggle move only. Do not use it mid-screen. It does have its wake-up properties, but it does get stumped out because of its long activation time. You don't have very long to use wake-up moves to make them invincible. You have a very short time frame, and this has such a long activation that it can be beat out by a lot of attacks. So not only is this attack not a very good wake-up, it's not a very good anti-air because it has too long of a startup, so it's hard to anti-air with it unless they jump in from a very far distance. I'm talking like right here, you have just enough time to punt that out. But if you do it here, you're going to get stumped every time. Also, this move has juggle properties. So if you hit with it, you can juggle with it. That's good to know. But once again, you really only want to be using this in a juggle or in the corner.
So
now we have
combos only, then.
Now we have his Bayou Bash here. This is a pretty good move. Good way to cover distance. It's relatively safe on block. I'm not sure many attacks can beat it, but you're just good enough to block after it. You don't want to be spamming attacks after this one. If they know what can beat it, they're gonna be able to mash out an attack and stump you every time.
I was curious, what is the frames when you, or excuse me, what is it? Is it plus or negative when you meter burn it?
When you meter burn it, it's actually more negative than its standard one.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
So let's go take a look.
Really?
Its regular is -3, so that's a fairly good attack. There's not many attacks that are ever going to beat that. I really don't think there's going to be any attack that can beat that on block. Although the meter burn is -10 on block, so like anywhere between 5 to 9 frame jabs that lead into combos, it's going to be able to beat this on block. So you definitely don't want to be doing this if you are unsure it's going to hit. But there are other uses for this meter burn, and I'm going to preview that right now.
That is very weird.
So let's say, once again, there's a character like Wonder Woman or Harley Quinn, Cyborg, any character that has a jump projectile-esque attack.
So
she has a shield attack that she throws in the air. So if you can predict this, meter burn actually becomes a very good option. It becomes a juggleable option. From there, you can get juggles.
So you're gonna play baseball. All right. There you go.
You can get jumping attacks.
Ooh.
So you have options if they're jumping using projectiles, and you get pretty good damage off of it just by 1 bar.
Ooh. Full goddamn punishment.
So that's really good to know.
Very good.
I'm pretty sure I covered all his basic special moves. The only ones I fucking use. Biofissure, Affiliation, Green. Oh, I didn't go as a Green Thumb. Alright. So let's go with that.
Can't forget the slam dunk.
Alright. So we have his Green Thumb. Why are you still jumping? Stop it.
It's like
No. I want you to stand there.
It's like hooked on a feeling,
All right.
and she says stuck in the air.
So Green Thumb is his ability to heal. It's this. If you do nothing, it just drops him on the ground, does very minus damage. Now, if they've got no health whatsoever, like if you just depleted their first bar and you grab them, this isn't going to kill. Pumping 2 meter burns will give you 2 forms of health, and it will kill them. But only do this if they're very, very low on health, where that attack will actually kill them when you let them go. Because that's a safe way to get 2 bars of health. Other than that, if you want to do a follow-up, 1 meter burn is all you can do. He has 3 follow-ups. He has his follow-up 1.
I actually like the way that looks a lot. I
Now,
wish I did bleed damage.
Unfortunately, this is good and bad. This forces restand, but it really doesn't give you any positives afterwards. You're in range for this. You're in range for a sweep. Let's see.
What if there's time to retaliate? If I'm Wonder
But
Woman?
I don't believe the frames will allow it. Let's see. Yeah, your hit advantage is 1.
Well. Oh, okay. Never mind.
I don't think that's gonna help. I don't think it's very good. Now,
Could you do log?
No.
No.
No, it has too long of an activation. I think it's like 18 frames for that fucking thing. 17 or 18. Anyway, so then you have your slam him on the ground, which there's two reasons that this attack is good. And this attack has pretty good hit advantage. It allows you to set up some anti-wake up setups, which we'll preview in a different video. And it allows you to swap screens. If you're in the corner and you use this attack, you can put them in the corner, and you can keep the pressure. So that's good to know. And then you have his slam dunk, which this attacks really well. It has very good hit advantage. It does allow you to set up anti-teleport wake-up situations, but it does create distance, and you definitely do not want to create distance on a character that has a projectile. So the best way,
which is ironic,
I believe that this is his best version of the grab. To me, it has very good setups, which we'll go over in the future. But Green Thumb is a very good attack. Now, one thing you must know is that I don't believe if they're blocking low, I think it'll whiff. I'm not sure. Let me check.
But Colton, wait, when you do Green Thumb, do you have more than one choice, or do you have to commit to one?
What do you mean?
Well, when you have them from Green Thumb, you have so many options. Can you do more than one at the same time?
No.
Well, I mean, can you do Green Thumb? Can you do a spike? Or can you steal health? Or can you dunk them? Or
you can always steal health with one and then do it.
What would you recommend as the best option?
Definitely two. I would definitely swap the screen position unless I was in the corner, and that rate, you get more advantage from this in the corner, and you're always in their face.
So steal health and then switch sides, or steal health and dunk?
And you don't always have to steal health. Any combo will work. Like, if you're in this situation here, doing the slam dunk puts you in a pretty good corner distance, and you're not very far away. But, like, if you're in a put him away in the corner, you don't want him out of the corner.
Oh, of course not.
So those are your special moves. This move has a fairly long startup. Don't use it on wake up. It'll get beat all the time. In fact, the only wake up I've seen that has any value is his Bayou Bash, which is this. And unfortunately, it gets beat by a lot of stuff. So if you're doing any string and you want to keep on pressure, that's pretty safe. Not a lot of things are going to beat it. You're in pretty good range. And if they do a special move, you can punish it. So that's a good idea of his special moves. Now we're going to go over his hard knockdowns. And what hard knockdowns are their ability to roll on wake up. And I'll show you what I'm saying here. I'm going to go ahead and set him to not block. We're going to make him stand. Okay. So in a situation like this, I've knocked them down and she was able to roll. And you see that she can roll from this, she can roll from this, and that creates distance. Is that a good thing? It's good for them. Depends on the character you're fighting if it's good for you. So I'm going to show you the 4 attacks that he has, or the 5 attacks that he has, that are hard knockdowns. His sweep, they cannot roll from that. And then you have his Green Thumb 2 options. You have his Green Thumb 2. They cannot roll from that. And you have his Green Thumb 3. They cannot roll from this. Then you have his, I believe his Vine Grab. Let's see. Yes, they cannot roll from your Vine Grab. And your Air Vine Grab has the same properties. So these are the hard knockdown setups that he has.
Can they roll out of log? Log kick. Can they take a roll from that?
I believe so. No, they can't. Okay, so his log creates a hard knockdown situation too. I don't use it as much, so I don't really see the benefit of it, but it's good to know. So the log is another one. So now we're going to go ahead and go over tick throws. If you don't know what a tick throw is, it's having a move's block recovery end as you can throw them. And a lot of command throws, for example, you can't throw after hitting them, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to set her to always block. So if I do this, I can't do Green Thumb. Or if I do this, I can't do Green Thumb, even though I'm standing right in front of them. But there are situations where you can do things like this and still get your throw. So I'm going to go over those. The first one is not a very good option, but it's in there. 2-1. You can actually do green thumb off of this, and it will grab them. You also have your down 2, can do green thumb, which is very nice. You have your jumping 2. If done correctly, you can... I gotta believe... Yes. God damn it. There we go. If done correctly, jump 2 can be a very good tick throw. Jump 2. This is very hard to cancel. There we go. So we have that. That's a nice option. And then we have vine grab tick throws as well. As you may or may not know, his down sweep is 2 hits, and his first hit is cancelable. You can cancel it in any special move.
Ooh, so you can actually make that safe if you want to.
Sometimes. Not all his special moves are safe. So like something like that would be very safe. So a tick throw with this would actually be canceling the first hit into vine grab.
The tech, dude.
And if they crouch and then immediately stand to walk back or doing a retaliation attack,
which 99% of people will do.
And this might potentially beat a jump. Let's go ahead and test that. Alright. Reversal attack. Backdash might work. Let's see.
I wonder of the possibility.
That would be beating it. I don't know about a jump though. Anyway, the point is that you can do it, but it can be beaten. It's an option you have.
Backdashing is a very underutilized strategy that I think a lot of people don't understand.
So we got that tick throw. We have canceling that into this for a tick. And we also have, from a distance, jump 2. I gotta get it right. That's a good tick throw too.
Very good, actually. I love that.
Potentially this. Anyway, these are options you have as far as tick throws go. Now we're gonna go through combos. Other notes that we have. I noticed your normal throw will throw the enemy behind you, and your forward throw will throw in front of you. Now, there is something to know. Off of these characters alone, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, Catwoman, Batman, Atrocitus, Gorilla Grodd, Cheetah, Poison Ivy, Supergirl, Dr. Fate, Blue Beetle, Black Canary, Darkseid, Captain Cold, Scarecrow, and Bane, it actually puts you closer if you do a normal throw. I'm in range to do 2 of these hits. So for example, if I do a setup like this, that would be a tick throw setup for that vine.
Dude, I've never seen a feature in a game where you have full screen tick throws. That's new shit.
That's pretty cool. So as I said, for example, like this puts you closer and you're in range for 2 hits, which allows you to cancel. But for example, on other characters like Cyborg, I'll go show that real quick.
That's honestly really terrifying to be like sure. And the other things that you can tick from, you can train someone really good.
So I'm going to do the same exact throw that I did, and I'm going to show that this one on Cyborg will only hit 1 time. You're only close enough with this throw. It's the same attack, same throw, doing nothing different, except this character only gets hit once with the low.
I feel like that's something that'll be patched though,
but we don't know. Now, there is a few things I wanted to go over, some help. When you're dealing with projectiles, maybe a little character info. Biofissure EX helps if they have slower projectiles but good ones. If you can smell projectile coming, you can get right in their face. If they have slow projectile startup or they have blocks for projectiles, For example, let's say your opponent's playing Captain Cold and he puts up an ice wall. Your super will beat the activation of the ice wall.
Oh, really?
So
it looks like it works the same as Bane's super almost.
It's good to know. It does track, and I believe it's a low. But against certain attacks, this will beat it. And I'm not saying burn all your meter because he's very reliant on it. But if you have no opportunity to get in, the super will bring you a little closer to your opponent.
And it works full screen.
It works full screen. It's a low, and it will beat certain activations on moves, and it has armor.
Oh, really?
All supers have armor.
Oh, well, duh.
So, alright, so we're going to go into his trait setups as well. There's only one, really. I believe this is listed in combos, but I'm going to explain the importance of it. Anything from this, walking back and being guarding here.
That's dirty. And
you're putting a full screen of hate.
Of hate.
They can't jump out of this.
And the scenery is so lovely, though.
Now,
look at all the pretty flowers.
Something you should know about his trait is if they have a move that advances them in the air, that doesn't count as a jump, but it can get them out of it.
Really?
So, for example, Bane's uppercut, like his rollback 2.
It works from that?
Yeah. It gets them out of it.
Oh, no.
So you want to be careful. They still have special moves they can use. Special moves are not limited.
They can't jump, though.
They can't neutral jump, they can't back jump, they can't forward jump. They can't dash forward or backward. They just have to stand there and walk forward or back.
I feel like that should be changed, but sure.
So if you're really, really good and you can keep them in that swamp path there, the flowers, you can get some really nifty setups from it. Now, I know there's a couple mid-screen setups for this as well, but I don't see them being practical for learning this character, but you should know them. I will preview them at a later date. Few character traits that I wanted you all to know. This attack has 2 hits, and at a distance, it only hits once.
Ooh, that looks like a pretty good poke.
It's a good poke tool, although a lot of wake-ups will beat this attack.
But can you combo from it as well?
No. There is a special move that allows you to meter burn it into a green thumb.
Really?
But you cannot actually combo into this attack. The only time you can really combo is like from a jumping attack. Let's see, I think I gotta hit him like lower. Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good.
It's good damage.
That's a good push away to set up, though.
Like from...
I figured it'd be like sweep where you can cancel it on the first hit since it hits twice.
I mean, personally, I'd rather just do the sweep anyway. If they blocked it, of course. But anyway, that's pretty much Swamp Thing. That's him in a nutshell for basics. The next video, we're going to preview on how to beat wake-ups. I'll preview a couple examples real fast.
Swamp Thing.
What character do we hate that advances?
Ooh, how about...
I'm almost wondering. She bothers the fuck out of me.
Fighters approaching Gorilla City.
Oh, never mind. That actually is a good option.
Because we're going to set her to Shield Rush for as a reversal on Wake Up. Alright, so on, I believe it's Athena Bash, or whatever the hell the fuck you pronounce it.
What's that? Oh, Athena,
Jamal, whatever.
Jamal.
Alright, so...
Jamama Bash.
Alright, so we're going to have them... They're always going to block. So anytime I attack, she's going to do this. If I get a knockdown, she's going to wake up with it. And we all know that getting hit with this wake-up attack is fucking annoying. So let's go over a setup to beat this. That beat her wake-up. Let's go over another setup. Oh.
Ooh.
That's another good setup.
Very impressive.
Let's see. I believe Sweep will beat her too. Maybe not. Let's do it fast. Nope. Okay, so Sweep's not gonna beat this. I believe walk forward back 2.
Ooh,
That beats
very
Wake Up.
good meaty.
So in the next video series we're gonna do, we're gonna go over every character with every wake up, and we're gonna find a punish for it or the best options that you have for it. If you feel you want to stop your opponent being aggressive, that's what that series is gonna be for.
So meaties, and more meaties.
Indeed. It's going to stop a lot of wake-ups, and it's going to give you a lot of options. Let's see if I can do this one. Nope, can't do that. Maybe walking back. Nope, that ain't going to work. So you know that a lot of these attacks are going to get stumped out.
Stumped. Haha. Was that a pun because he's a grass type?
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so that concludes this video. I'm Coltina, 1991 PSN, with Console Cadets, dude. The happy black man. Angry cat man. We're off.
Happy black man, angry cat.